Yeah, certainly. So I just really wanted to touch on when, especially with my service, everyone joins a service, and especially if they're spread betting, that's all they really focus on. But I thought we'd discuss other trading vehicles as we've just talked about longer-term analysis. Now, in particular, if we are about to see a key peak, it's very, very difficult. In fact, it's almost impossible to call the exact top of markets. And if someone does, it's usually by fluke. So generally what I'm doing when I'm looking for a key reversal, either to the upside or the downside, I'm looking to build some sort of exposure. Now that doesn't have to be on a spread bet. You know, there are other vehicles you can trade the FTSE with, and certainly other investment vehicles. So one is obviously options. I don't do options myself. John used to do options. I think he still does sometimes, but it's not for me. Binaries I do. We know we can do binaries on a longer term basis now as well. So with bet on markets, you can take them out from 1 week to 6 months. Now, the benefit with using binaries is that you can't get stopped out, and it's a very relaxed way of trading and gaining some exposure in the markets. And another one which I'm looking at the moment, and I actually have a small amount of exposure at the moment, is a FTSE ETF, which surprisingly to buy and sell is around commission, I think £15. It's not a lot. It's the FTSE 100 super short strategy, and that's leveraged 2 times. Now there's also a bull fund as well. Now again, the benefit with trading ETFs is you can build up your positions, you can't get stopped out, your risk is contained, and it makes a massive difference to your mind and also your emotions. So it's really just to sort of remind people that when we're doing analysis, when we're doing trading, you don't have to tie yourself into just spread bets. There are other vehicles. If you're doing day trading, spread bets are very, very handy. They're handy for magnet trades, certainly, because the magnets can last from 10 minutes up to a couple of days. But if we're looking for a key peak on the FTSE, then certainly I'll be looking to increase exposure on something like a FTSE ETF on the short side. And likewise, if we have a huge sell-off and I'm looking for an increase, a bull run, I'd look to buy a bull ETF. It's just another way of looking at the markets and another way of dipping your toe to gain some exposure. John, I think you've got your mic.
Yes, I've just turned it on. Okay. Okay, we'll just deal with the questions again. Robin's asked about SUK2. SUK2 is an ETF, exchange traded fund, and it basically is a bear fund. I think it's double geared, which Marcus has talked about, in fact. So Robin, if you have anything else, sorry.
That's the one.
Sorry, Mark?
That's the one I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
So Robin, is the fund I'm talking about, yeah.
Okay, so if you have any other questions on that, please let us know. Question from Rob. What sort of price action signal will Mark be looking for on Monday?
Well, firstly, I want to see if 6,000 holds. Secondly, I'm looking to see if we've got a magnet target. And but remember, on Monday, Monday may not be the best day because we've got the US shut. So the FTSE could act erratically, but certainly on the first couple of hours, I'll be looking to see if 6,000 can hold. If 6,000 holds for the next couple of days, then it's very likely that 6090 is going to be taken out. But if we can have a sharp sell-off on Monday at the open, then it will build the case that that 6090 is the peak at the moment. But I really wasn't comfortable with the FTSE closing over 6,000 on Friday.
Mark, we skipped 2 questions. Do you want to deal with this, or would you rather talk about the magnet now? There are just 2 questions, not
okay. These ones here. Well, I think one of them is on the magnet anyway, which I'm going to cover.
Okay. So there's this question here about that question we're going to cover in the magnet. Yes.
Okay, fine. So, okay, so the clients received the message. The magnet target's 6010. The current FTSE is 645. Sell. That was your message, which you received on Wednesday. And then at 11:43, I sent a message saying take half profits. So I don't know if you remember, but on Wednesday it was very, very quiet price action. It was dithering around, and I decided to I decided to turn the trade risk-free and lock in a bit of profit. By doing that, my objective is to run the trade down to 6010. But you know, obviously, when you've moved your stop to entry, it's just a lot more relaxing to trade. So what I'm doing here in the message is that if I'm trading, say, £10 a point, to take half profits, I would buy back £5. Okay, so that's leaving me with half the trade in, and I've taken half the profit out of the trade. Moving the stop to entry, well, if I started selling at 6045, I would move my stop down to 645. Now after this, this is the part of the system and the service which I manage for you. So if we had continued to sell off, I would keep you updated with regular messages to either move your stop or take further profits or exit the trade. So you just really need to focus on what I'm sending to you after that point.
Okay, Mark. Do you want, okay, do you want to take the first? Actually, sorry, we've got two questions we may have to go through quickly. Three now, hang on. What is the ticker for the FTSE times 2 bull and bear funds? Well, the one we just said is SUK2. That's and I think the bull one is LUK2. So that's okay, John. I've got a question mark for you. Target for FTSE after 5/8/20, Paul.
Well, the ultimate target, I mean, if we do get a shallow correction, as per the long-term chart, which myself and John showed earlier, we're looking for a top around about 6,500, 6,600. We should have a major decline after that. But I think it's very important as well. Once we peak in the next week or so, possibly even next week, it's the decline which will determine the next move. So I need to see that decline come in and see where we stop, and then I can calculate and assess where we're going to next.
Okay, well that covers the. So let's just check no more questions. What is the best charting system to use that can be set for automatic alerts to release you from monitoring? I don't know. I don't use this myself. I mean, I know that UpData has this function. TradeStation is probably the most advanced, but it's used to be incredibly complicated. They had something called Easy Language, which was anything but easy. Mark, any response on that question?
We just after alerts here.
Yes, not trading, just automatic trading alerts. Yes. Actually, I would just say IG will do this. So if you want to,
IG, yeah, about to say IG offer an alert system. So if you're looking for if you're out and about and you want to be alerted of when a target level's hit, then it will automatically send a message to your phone. It really is worth sort of focusing on what IG offers, because for a busy individual with a full-time job, to day trade these days is made so much easier with the technology available, especially on your mobile. You can pretty much do anything you want on your mobile. Okay,
Robin's sent us confirmed LUK2 for the bull fund. That's great. John has said, is there a horse in your office? It certainly sounds like, well, actually there is, in fact. No, not really. I'm in reception, actually, at the hotel. They did promise me a private room, but it wasn't forthcoming, and hopefully there's not too much noise coming from here. So no horse, sadly. It would be certainly an interesting and surreal experience, but sadly,
I think it's just John making some strange noises. I wouldn't get concerned over it.
Very true. Right, Mark, it's on you for the gap trading and then Mark's magnet. Do you want to be a presenter so you can show script graphics, or?
No, for this it's just.
Okay, I'll turn on microphone. Okay, Unless you like the horse, I'll turn the microphone off so that it disappears from view.
Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to spend a few moments going over the magnet service. So for those who aren't aware of this, I launched this at the beginning of the month, and so far all the targets have been met, which is very nice. In fact, they were all met before Christmas as well, when I started testing this out on my subscribers, which is very useful. Thank you for that. I was testing it really to find the best way of getting the information across to them. Obviously, if I find better ways to get the information across, you know, I will add that to the service as well. So the magnet is built around several systems which I've designed over the years, and it has around a 70% hit rate. Now, I use the magnet targets as a leading indicator of where the market is heading in the very short term. Okay, so the opposite of a leading indicator is a lagging indicator. Now, lagging indicator is things like MACD, RSI. Now, the problem with lagging indicators is you're reacting to price action. So if you're reacting, the price action has already happened. Okay, so you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by doing that. But with leading indicators like the magnets, you're being proactive, so you're predicting where the market is going to head before it's happened. Now, the benefit with this is you can position yourself into important moves, and we all know that once the move has started, it's very, very difficult to get on board. But you know, most importantly, on the FTSE in particular, the first hour of trading represents the most opportunities of the day, and this is when 80% of the magnet alerts are traded. So you know, if the FTSE is if it's gonna be a large move and it's gonna be a trending day, this usually starts immediately. So if we're positioned in a magnet trade, then we're going to get on board before this is actually happen. And remember, professional traders actually position into trades on small candlesticks. It's worth noting that only amateur traders get in on very, very large candlesticks. So the professional traders are already positioned. They're not using lagging data to get on board. So that's one, you know, massive advantage of using magnets, because it's a huge leading indicator. I mean, in terms of day trading, I personally haven't come across anything as powerful as the magnets. You're getting lots of opportunities. The trades are generally very quick. They're easy to follow, and you can get on with your day. And you know, it's always nice to make your money in the first hour of the day. You know, you can then get on and do whatever you need to do. And plus, they as I've mentioned, they give you access to the larger moves. So in a lot of cases, my objective is to run the magnet. You know, if you're trading with longer term analysis, another key benefit with the magnet is it's giving you a reason to enter your trade in the first place. A lot of people, when they analyze the markets, they have some great analysis, but they're just guessing on when to enter. They don't have anything to push them in or give them a good signal to enter in. And that's where systems really, really can complement analysis. Certainly when I'm combining magnets with Elliott Wave, you know, it works quite well because it saves me getting into false moves, because as we know, Elliott Wave isn't the holy grail. So you can use a system on its own. It's very profitable, but I would recommend, if you're using magnets, to try and run as many trades as possible. So if you've entered a trade and it looks like the trade is going to extend, there's absolutely no reason why you need to exit as soon as the magnet is hit. Under these circumstances, you would simply just take half profits, which is what I do. Move your stop to entry, so then the trade is risk-free. That removes your emotions, it removes your stress, and you're happy just to run the trade. Plus, you've already locked in some profit. So if the trade does reverse and hit your stop, you still made a comfortable profit. And some of these moves can last a very long time. You might get on board a trade which could last for months or even years. So it can become very profitable. Now, one question I've had, it was a huge question all week, was how many times can I use the magnet? So I just want to sort of point out that the magnet target is live until either the target is hit or the stop. So the stop being 50 points, which is what I recommend. So if we take Wednesday's example, we had a target at 6:10, and I sent you a message to sell the market at 6:45. So using a 50-point stop, that would be at 6:95. Mid-morning, we had very, very slow price action. So I moved the stop to entry at around 6:30, and we took our profits. Unfortunately, the market then reversed and stopped us out, and we had a small profit. But the trade is still live. Because the magnet target hasn't been hit at 6:10, or the stop hasn't been hit, then it's still an active trade, and you can trade this multiple times. The next day, I was looking at issuing another trade down to 6:10 if we opened above 6:50. Unfortunately, we just opened just below. But if you're looking at something different and you've got some analysis pointing downwards, then trade the magnet. So it's a very high probability trade, and you can trade it as many times as you want. So the duration can be from 10 minutes up to a few days, possibly more than a few days if we're in a range-bound market. But for example, if we are in a range-bound market, then you can trade in and out of the magnet stop and target as many times as you want. I've done it quite a few times, and it's a great way of accumulating profit. So for those who really want more information on the magnet systems, I do actually teach these at my seminars. I had my last one in October, which was filmed, and the DVD has just been produced actually. So I will send some details on this if it's of interest, and I'll do this after the webinar. Okay, John.
Thank you, Mark. That's great. In fact, we will be sending you details of all the things we've mentioned, at least the things we do, in a short email, just sending out the links if you want to have any interest in that sort of stuff. Right, Robin has said he thought the noise was Mark's parrot. Yes, this is a good point. In fact, this is why we decided not to do this webinar together, because the horse and the parrot fought so much it just became a nightmare. So that's why we're about 600 miles apart, or something like that. How far are we apart?
I don't know. Right. I don't know, John. But we last time we had it in the Philippines, but I think we got sick of each other's company. So I'm in Shanghai and John's in Costa Rica now.
Right, the first trading hour starts at 8. Well, that's true on FTSE. FTSE cash opens at 8, but other markets trade different hours, of course. I mean, in fact, the FTSE futures now open, I think, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not quite sure. But every market has different, but certainly with FTSE, yes, 8 a.m. Not true of IG, of course. IG have 24-hour markets, not every day, but this is the big difference between the official market and IG. It means the charts are different. Quite an interesting point, I think. If you look at an IG chart, you're looking at a 24-hour chart, which Mark uses, in fact. When I started trading back in the 80s, there was no such thing as a 24-hour chart. So I prefer the trading hours, 8 o'clock till 4:30. Any questions? That's covered that really. Lots of laughter. Yes, good. Thank you, Robin. We try and entertain as much as we can. Here's a question. IG allows you to use 2 types of moving average. The first shows gaps on an hourly chart. I've never seen that, Andy. I mean, the moving average tends to be continuous, so you don't tend to get gaps. Mark, have you any experience with this?
Well, moving average on IG charts is just a line, isn't it?
I thought so. I haven't seen that. Andy, we need to know how to get hold of that. I don't think we've actually used it. We just use the standard moving averages.
Andy, I mean, if you want to email me a screenshot of what you're looking at, and I'll discuss that with you next week, certainly.
Barry says he's talking the 20 and 50-day moving average, sorry, unit moving average, but they're also continuous. There are no gaps, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a continuous line.
Yeah, see, Andy just said, sorry, the gaps are on the stock, not the average. So okay, that answers the question, I guess. Okay, sound breaking up. Well, hopefully it's stopped breaking up. One more question here. Oh, about mobiles. The best mobiles to use with IG. I mean, I use two. I find the help desk actually incredibly useful. They recommend mobiles, and I find now that the sophistication of the smartphones is good. And there's no real problem with anyone you want to use. I mean, I've got a 4 or 5 year old Touch, which is an HTC Touch, which works fine with it. I've also got a Nokia E71, which works all over the world. I mean, it works in Thailand, as does the Touch. So I think you'll find that most of them work now quite well. Mark, what phone do you use with IG?
I just use an LG, and it works fine. But pretty much all mobiles can access it. Certainly all the modern ones access it now. But I have quite a large screen on LG, and it works quite well. Okay.
We're actually running over time. We don't mind continuing.
Running over time, yeah.
We're happy to. I've got another question here. John, I used the Tunnel 20X system in December. Had no luck. Are the new items make the down move? I think as soon as we peak, it's going to be very different. I mean, it has been pretty quiet. There have been some quite good moves. There was a move, in fact. I sent out a blast to Tunnel traders. I think it was not this Friday, but the Friday before, and that was actually a good, solid move. I sold some tunnels myself, but because of the time difference here, I wasn't around when the thing went down. I think it went down to about 30. I sold at 95, went down to about 30, which would have been quite a healthy profit. Almost 4 figures, in fact. But that's one of why I would really love to have some limits. It would be such a huge bonus. But as it was, it expired at 0, which was a bit sad, really. But I think there'll be a lot better moves once we've seen the peak. I mean, up moves tend to be slower than the down moves, so I'm trying to find the right slide here. And so the down moves tend to be a lot more rapid, more aggressive than the up moves. We have seen a very quiet. And December was just dire, really, January so has been slightly better. It has been more active, but not hugely active. So we're looking for better movements, really. Okay, next one. Are Better Markets going to release an APP for mobile trading? I don't know, Mark. Do you know?
So could you repeat that question?
Are Better Markets going to release an app for mobile trading?
I don't know that. I'm not sure because I don't know Better Markets because it's such a narrow market and it's a smaller company. I'm not sure they would do that. But it's certainly as technology evolves. I think most of these providers are going to have to keep up with the competition. But I've got a contact there. I can certainly find out. But it would be very handy.
They ought to, really, because I mean, from their point of view, the more business they get, the better. And people, a lot of people trade emotionally, the emotion comes at that particular time. And if you haven't knocked by your computer, then you want to be you may well be by your mobile phone. So I would have said it was in their interests, not necessarily in the interests of the people who use them, but then that's always a matter of control, discipline. Some people said having a screen on your desk is like having a fruit machine on your desk, and you just can't stop pulling the lever. I think there's a certain amount of truth in that. If you haven't got, well, I mean, obviously you want to trade when you planned your trade, and if you're not at the screen, then maybe that's when you shouldn't be trading. Maybe you should be looking at your screen only occasionally, and maybe you should be working out what to do, and then do it at the time you predetermine you're going to do it. Mark, anything else before we wrap down?
No, I think the reception is actually going on this, John. So it could be a good point to end the seminar, the webinar. So we've been about an hour and a quarter now, so thank you for all attending. And the next webinar will be in about a month's time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much indeed. We very much enjoyed this. I hope you have as well. As Mark said, we'll be back in a month's time. We are thinking about doing some more frequently on different subjects. This is, as I say, only our second webinar, so we're just finding our feet, really. But thank you again, and well, it's good morning. It's good night from us, and good morning to you. I guess it's lunchtime now. Anyway, have a good day. Cheers.